Hey, what's going on, man? It's your girl, Tampa Mystic, and we are live on the Industry's Most Wanted podcast. Big Industry's Most Wanted.
Most Wanted.
Hey, listen, I got a really special guest checking in, but y'all got to stick around. And he goes by the name of Mr. Craig. What's going on with you, bro?
What up, what up, what up? Long time coming.
Man.
This is what's up right here.
Long overdue. You know what I'm saying?
Overdue.
I just want to say first and foremost, bro, shout out to you. You really are out here working. You're really putting yourself in positions to get seen and heard. We just recently did this spotlight feature on hip hop since 1987. We're doing this, and I'm quite sure we're gonna do other stuff down the road. So I just wanted to give you your flowers real quick. You know what I'm saying? Out the gate.
Yours too. Yours too. You've been doing this for a minute. You gotta get your flowers as well.
Man, thank you. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? But that's why we get along so good. We catching a vibe, right?
That's right. That's what it's all about.
So look, we got Mr. Craig checking in. I need you to go ahead and just break it all the way down for us. Who is Mr. Craig?
Mr. Craig is a guy from Queens, Jamaica. Shout out to Far Rock as well, because those are the most areas that I grew up in.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just a guy on the grind always. I stay busy. I stay focused. A lot going on, you know, between music, film work, and, you know, my clothing line. Like I just stay busy. I stay on the go. So, you know, Mr. Craig's just a guy trying to inspire people.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole brand that I'm bringing to the table. Not just me, but anything that people can relate to. You know what I mean?
That's dope, man. You definitely have a lot going on. And as a business person, you have to have multiple things going on. Like we can't just be out here focused and only doing one thing. Like I heard you mention, you know, you got the clothing brand. Of course, you're an artist, film type stuff. You know, there's just different things that we can incorporate into what we already enjoy doing. We're in the entertainment business, right?
That's right.
You know, but there's also other things you can do. Like my last guest, he also drove trucks. He had a CDL license, you know, and drove, you know, 18 wheelers and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with having multiple hustles. So you from New York, right?
Born and raised. I'm out here in Northern Virginia, like 15 minutes out of DC, but, you know, born and raised New York.
Big shout out. Like
can't take it out of me.
Little quick shameless plug, my first ever real opportunity to do radio and interviews. Big shout out to DJ Clue, man. Like I spent 3 years on Desert Storm Radio. Woo. And that was just so big for me because I was still fairly new, and that's what really helped me gain some notoriety in the radio world, because everybody knows who Clue is. He's legendary.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So shout out to New York, my business partners from Brooklyn. You know,
so to the fullest.
Most definitely. Excuse me, y'all. I'm just getting over having sinus and allergies, so I ain't got COVID. I promise y'all. Y'all can't catch it through the screen anyway. You know what I'm saying? So let's take it all the way back, because I really want people to understand and respect how you got to where you're at today. You know, you probably a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. So with that being said, you know, growing up in New York, take us back, man. Before you really started pursuing being an artist, what were you into at that point?
I mean, I basically started writing poetry, and that's how like the whole story came along. I started writing poetry. The life in New York, you know, living that whole atmosphere, growing up, not the best environment for a kid that I was in.
Yeah.
You know, so that just basically took me, you know, I was the youngest. So it basically took me where I didn't have a lot of, you know, family camaraderie, and, you know, I had friends here and there and stuff like that, but I was more, you know, to myself.
Yeah.
And I had some good friends that I would hang out on a regular basis with, but through childhood stuff with the family and stuff, it just, you know, I was kind of boxed into a little corner. So basically it's like I started writing poetry, then I kind of wanted to take it to the next level. So when I started hearing all these artists and they just putting their life out there and they're just writing about their life, you know, that's what came about for me. So that was my therapeutic moment, is to start writing. So it came with poetry. And then from poetry, I wanted to take it to another level. And of course, you know, as a young kid growing up, you know, a couple people, you know, they want to try and take your money and stuff like that, you know, but it's all good. So, you know, one of my boys introduced me to this guy, Anthony. Shout out to Anthony, Mr. Tuck. Used to take me out to Strong Island, you know, record that 510 South Franklin legendary spot out in Long Island. And he used to pick me up in basic projects, you know, all the time. Take me out to the studio, record. Shout out to Bango. Bango, she kind of helped me kind of craft a little bit when I was younger. So she kind of like took me under her wing. And then from there, you know, once that spot kind of like, you know, closed down, you know, Big Snow, he took me under his wing. He worked with Granddaddy IU, Big Daddy Kane, and he's like my big bro, you know, and he took me under his wing and basically kind of, I just been grooming from there. And then once I moved to Virginia, I was on my own. You know, when I got to Virginia, it was like, all right, I got to record. I built a computer. I got to record. I got to do this because I didn't have any connects out here.
Right.
So I just basically, I had to grind on my own. And till this day, it's like, I'm still doing it on my own. You know, I got friends that can help me out, listen to this, put it back. But I record, I mix, and depends on the song, I'll master it too.
Man.
Sometimes I want another ear, but most of the time I'm mixing it and I'm mastering it at the same time.
I love that you're so hands-on though. Like there's nothing wrong with, you know, having other people mix and master your stuff. But as an artist, like all girls said, I'm sensitive about my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's right.
You want to make sure that when your song goes out to the world, it's top notch. It's the best it can be. And you've done your part by recording a dope record, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, whoever puts their magic on there by engineering it, mixing it, mastering it, man, that's the final touch to the product before you put it out in the world. So I think as an artist, if you can learn how to do that yourself, who better to get your sound exactly the way you want it than you?
Yeah, I know what I'm looking for. So when you know what you're looking for, you know that if you got that ear for it, then you know what you want to put into it. And then, you know, for me, being able to mix it on your own, you could be really creative. Having your own studio, you could be so creative that you ain't got to worry about, oh, my studio time's about to get cut. You know, $60, $80. Like, I got to dip out. Then you go back and listen to it. You're like, man, I could have did this, I could have did that. Then you're like, well, do I got enough money to go back in the studio? Nah,
right.
When you got your own stuff, yo, you could take your time. You could critique it as much as you want. And that's the beauty of it. And like with this project here, this time it's personal. You know, it was actually pretty much done last year in November.
Yeah.
Like by the end of December, this project was pretty much done. And I just kept plugging in more songs. I was like, I like this. I like this. I like this. And I just kept adding on to now, 18 tracks on the album. You know,
it's
and
hard to break it down when you got so many dope records, right?
Yeah, when I went back and looked at it, but it's broken down in pieces where, you know, I kind of scattered it where like the top part is more of me, just hitting what I want to hit. And then like the middle part is more of like a relationship base. And then I go into like a little kind of a gospel moment where I was going through something where it's like, you know, I had to pray. So I had to put a couple songs out there like that. Yeah. And then in the end, towards the end, I gave like a lot of thank you. I got a song called Long Time. So basically that song close to the end of it, I gave a couple of shout outs to people that, you know, mean a lot to me. I missed a couple because I mean, it's only about so much I could go on that track. So
right, understood.
I gave out some shout outs to people that along the way, this journey has been crazy. You know, and this is like the most well-rounded project I feel that I put out. And I'm not done yet. How about that? I'm not done yet.
We just getting started.
Right, I'm not done yet.
So the project is called This Time It's Personal.
Yep.
You poured your everything into it.
I did.
Because
wholeheartedly.
Anything that has something to do with being personal and it's right there in the title lets me know that it was very personal. You poured your everything into it. How long from beginning to end did it take you to put this album together?
Well, like I said, it was pretty much done in December, and I was just adding songs on at that point where I wasn't going to close out the album until I got like close to you know, I had to submit it.
Yeah.
You know, so basically it's funny because I have a song called what is it? My Point of View. And I got the video out for it. So My Point of View, there's this producer out in well, he's from New York, but he's out in I think Jersey now. Pennies with Dollars. right? And I hit him up and said, "Yo, I need something. I need like an intro to the album."
Yeah.
And he hit me with a couple of things, and I wasn't feeling it yet. And then he posted up, say, "Yo," I hit him up, "Yo, I need that. This is what I want." And he was like, "I got you. I got you." And yo, I mean, that song, like right there, kind of my point of view is just basically like, I don't care what anybody thinks. You have your point of view, I got mine.
Thanks.
You know, and that's what the song is about. Like, I'm gonna do what I do, and you can stay on your side and do what you do. If you rock with me, you rock with me. If you don't, well, this is my point of view, and that's yours.
Yeah.
So, and that's what that song was about. So I had to go in on it. And some people that listen to it, they be like, "That's you," because they hit me on one song, then they hit me another song, and they be like, "It don't sound like you." I'm like, "But it's me."
But that's a good thing. I like that. I like that. Just a quick elaboration on that. Like anybody that knows me, I'm a big fan of artists who can produce different sounds, meaning that not all your music sounds the same. Give us some different flavors. You know what I'm saying? And you absolutely do that. So did you spend most of 2021 putting the album together?
Well, it's funny because I actually had a couple of songs. I had about 4 songs already.
Okay.
And that was like during the course of a year or two. And I was just kind of sitting there. I wasn't even planning on putting it out because I had after my Inspired project, you know, I started writing a script, and I wanted to get back into, you know, shooting film and stuff like that. I wanted to work on writing my script. But you know, life jumps in, you know, life happens. And in November, you know, I wrote like about 4 songs in 3 weeks. And then I was like, I was like, let me check back at these other songs that I have over here. And I looked, I was like, well, shit, I got an album.
Right.
I was like, I got an album. I was like, you know what? I'm back. And that's what I came up with. It's like, I'm back. So from there on, it was like, all right, you got these songs. I'm going to go in and record them, get it, knock them out. And next thing you know, by December, I already had 10 tracks or so.
Yeah.
And I was adding on ever since then. But, you know, and to what you just said about, you know, going different paths. Like I got a song called Blessings.
Yeah.
And when a couple of people heard that, they're like that's like they didn't expect that. You know, I got that. I went, you know, shout out to Mr. Tuck again, because he was like, we could do a video for that. We could do a video for that. Because I was just in New York recently because I had the billboard go up in Times Square. So that was a blessing.
Big congratulations on that. That's huge.
Yeah, that was a blessing too. So, and he was out there with me, you know, taking the shot and the picture and everything like that. Had it on the release date. So, you know, a guy from New York, so surreal moment. You know what I mean? To have
Absolutely.
that. You know,
Absolutely.
So blessings on that.
So let me ask you this. You are very versatile, but do you think that people who are not, because a lot of artists from New York have their sound. Like you can listen to them, like, oh yeah, that's an artist from New York. Not that that's a bad thing, but you just can tell by the sound of their music. Do you think that people outside of New York kind of expect or box you in to sound a certain way?
Yeah, I mean, I've had people listen to my music that recently that don't know me like that. Yeah. And they're like, oh, you got that New York sound. You sound like a New Yorker, you know? And I get it even when I speak to people, they're like, oh, you from New York. I have people that don't even know. I could walk someplace and someone could be from New York and they're like, you from New York? I'm like, yeah. He's like, I'm from BK. I'm like, well, I'm from Queens. What?
Yeah,
you know? Yeah, and what? Like, I've had people say that to me, and I'm like, what? Like, how? I mean, I can't distinguish it probably because I'm from New York, so I don't really pay attention to that. But I had people call me out about that, you know, or the way I may say a certain word, like, oh, you know, I can tell the way you say heart, you know. I'm like, but I say it like that in a song for a certain way, not just because that's the way I talk it, but you know, it's all good. It's all good. But yeah, you know, sometimes I get boxed in like that though.
Yeah, absolutely. But you're here to let them know it's, you know, you love where you're from, but it's also bigger than that.
Oh yeah, I mean, look, I'll support every state. You know, that's just me. You know, I performed on a cruise ship before, so that was awesome. You know, where I met different people and stuff like that. You know? So I mean, to be able to take the brand and even my Inspired brand, you know, because I created an Inspired brand for women too. You know, and it's called Inspired for Women. Fierce, fearless, and independent. You know, so I hook you up offline. I hook you up. Trust me, I got you. You would love it though. But you know, for all the women out there, I got that for the women too. So I wanted to do something for the women only. So like, my name is not even on it.
Yeah,
but it's my brand. as opposed to my Inspired brand, like you see the hat, you know,
That's hard.
that's the Inspired brand. So inspired by Mr. Craig, motivation to drive the strength. And that's just universal for everybody. But then I wanted something just for women, you know,
Yeah.
because I feel like they needed their own lane. And I wanted to be a guy as an artist to do that, which you don't get that often, you know?
You really don't. You really, really don't. A lot of artists will come out with their own brand clothing line, but it's like geared to whoever wears it, men, women, kids, whatever. But I like the fact that you actually specifically targeted a portion of that just to the women, because women can appreciate that stuff. Trust me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even, and even with the unisex shirts, I don't even order the unisex shirts for the women. I only want women's shirts.
Yeah.
You know,
Hallelujah. Because some of them shirts that are unisex, I won't wear them because I feel like I got this boxy ass shirt on. I'm like, I am not wearing it. Women like it to fit, you know what I'm saying? Like, with our curves and all that.
That's right. You got it. That's what's up.
That is dope. That's dope. So throughout your journey in music, what has been like the most challenging thing you've done and I'll give you an example, like you being from New York, maybe you jumped on like a super down south beat that's totally like out of the norm for you. You know what I'm saying? What's been that? What have you done to really challenge yourself, or what's been that most challenging thing that Mr. Craig has done?
I would say for me, you know, trying to do everything on my own can be challenging.
Yes.
You know, there's some beats that I've had, but I usually choose my own, you know, and I pretty much pick what I want. I haven't gotten a lot of requests for collaborations because I've been, you know, because of life steps in. So I've been kind of in and out of music here and there. And then, you know, on my Inspired album, it's like I was back, and then I started doing shows, and then COVID hit. Then it was like everything just came to a screeching halt. Right. You know, so I've been kind of like out of touch for a little bit. So like my last project was like 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And then, you know, because of COVID, I decided, hey, you know, I'm gonna start working on my other craft that I want to work on, you know, because I have my film company that I started called Inspired Media Works.
Love it.
So I have that, and I like Image Sight and Sound, which is Mr. Tuck in New York, and I'm working with him on projects when I can get to New York. So I work with him on stuff, and I just helped them. Well, I was part of a documentary that he's working on.
Nice.
But then also my man Dane Plex out here in Virginia, him and I are working on one of his short films. So, you know, me trying to do everything on my own between managing my websites, that's the most challenging for me, besides like, you know, needing someone to help me like get shows and things of that nature.
Yeah.
You know, some PR stuff. Like I got a PR company right now because I was like, some things I was like, I gotta see what I can slide over here. You can do that.
For real.
You know what I mean? Because it's a lot to handle, you know. But I mean, that's the most challenging for me music-wise, is mostly, you know, getting stuff, you know, like ASCAP and getting all that stuff that a lot of artists don't know about, you know, putting all your stuff in ASCAP, you know, the copyright, you know, things that some artists would be like, whatever. It ain't just whatever, because that's your royalties.
Nah, for real. You have to stay on top of that stuff.
Yeah, and trying to get sync deals and stuff like that, you know. And me, it's more like I want to be able to cater to mostly like some sync stuff. So, but you need to have certain songs for that. You know? So that's something that I'm going to start like thinking about. Like I used to like kind of look at movies that was coming ahead and like, what kind of song can I come up with? And the key thing is that having a producer that can kind of cater to that as well.
Absolutely.
You kind of need that one-on-one with that producer. And look, I need this kind of track for this kind of movie that's coming out. So if you think of, for instance, like Fast and Furious, you already know it needs to be up-tempo, upbeat in most of the scenes. So you're gonna need something like that. So that's just my thought process on it.
No, that's really dope. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because that is something that a lot of artists miss out on. There's so many other things you can do with your music besides throwing it on Spotify and Apple and stuff. Like you got to think commercials, you got to think movies, you know, short films, documentaries, everything we watch, whether it's commercials or movies, there's music in there, because the movie would be boring without that music in there. You know exactly. So it's like you have to put yourself in positions and learn, like you said, about like sync licensing. And, you know, for example, United Masters offers a lot of opportunities for independent artists to get their music in video games, get their music on different television networks, movies, stuff like that. Just get online and do your research. So I'm so glad that you brought that up, because a lot of artists miss out on opportunities because they may have that theme song that would work for a particular type of movie. They just don't understand that they can actually pitch it if they tap in with the right companies and stuff. So thank you for bringing that up. That's a great point.
Yeah, I mean, also getting the getting a publishing deal. I had years ago. I had a publishing deal, but basically, every time I see like they had a movie come out or something like that, it was like I would either had to like write something to it because some of the songs that I already had out there wasn't really catering to what they were looking for. So that's what not just myself, but other artists need to keep in mind as well. Find something that's going to cater to what a movie that they're going to be looking for, because then you have better opportunities.
Absolutely. And that's what it's about, is creating those opportunities, because it's very rare that they come knocking on our door. Like rarely.
You got to put it out there. Like, take this, take that. Be on that Diddy.
Right. Take that. Take that. Nah, for real. Have you always had the attitude of being okay with other people helping you? Because I was talking to, my last guest, and I was very guilty in the beginning of coming into this, of wanting to do everything myself. Not to say that, I did it by myself. I just didn't trust a lot of other people to tap into what I got going on, because I didn't know if they seen things the way I do. Has that ever been an obstacle for you?
My biggest obstacle is just that, everything that I'm into, I have some friends that are into it, but they're just as busy as I am.
Understood.
And then everyone else, that I'm really tight with, that I can trust, this is not really their thing. You know what I mean? So, unless they collected a check, you know what I mean? But they got a day job too, and personal life. So you really kind of need somebody that's going to be able to kind of have that time to take out and cater and help you do, this, that, and that. Like I always tell people, some of my friends, I'm like, I need a secretary or something. Trying to keep with schedules, appointments, and my email gets blowing up, and I get missed opportunities because my email gets flooded, and I have multiple emails because of multiple businesses.
Right.
So my email gets flooded. So I'm know there's opportunity I probably missed out on, or I missed the deadline for something because I was busy doing something else. But I know how to do my website. So unless you actually have someone that has your back and is going to do it on the strip until they can get paid, or you got the money to pay them, then that's the struggle right there.
Nah, for real. I totally understand, because when you're surrounded by people who have like minds, they got a lot of their own stuff going on.
Yep. Exactly.
So it's like, I got some great people around me, but they busy too. So it's like, they can't always come and help out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And even the people who and I pay, hey, I'll pay you, come do this for me. But they're like, man, I'm already booked for this. And then that's a good thing for them, but it'd be tough to build a solid team, because, when you're surrounded by a bunch of bosses, they've already got their own stuff going on. So that definitely can be a struggle, Yeah.
I mean, I barely sleep. Like, if you're like, do you sleep? I'm like, not really. I mean, if I look at it like this, though, if I don't do it, no one else will.
Absolutely.
So a lot of times, my friends, they be like, yo, you want to go out? But like, I got work to do, and they be like, you always work. And I'm like, if I don't do it, no one else will. It's just going to sit there, and I'm just going to bring on to something else the next day.
Absolutely.
You got your business and your company and, your podcast, and I get it. So I had to basically step away from, I had the radio show. I was on Spinwax Radio, had my own radio show. And I was like, I got to take a step back because I was doing too much. Right. And my main focus was, completing the album, getting to where I wanted to be. So I just had my hands on way too much stuff where I just had to take a step back. So, I still got clips of the radio show on my website, but I had to take a step back from that. But I mean, my love for radio, just like you, it's in me,
Yeah.
It's in me.
I understand. Absolutely. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, you don't want to put too much on your plate to where stuff starts falling through the cracks, or maybe you're not putting as much into your album as you could have, because you've spread yourself too thin. I like the fact that you totally seen that, and you're like, hold on, let me figure out what I can step away from now to focus on this. And then, maybe at another time you can get back to doing the radio thing. Nothing wrong with that. You got plenty of time. You're a young man, you know what I'm saying?
Plus it was personal. So I had to make sure it was right.
Right. Nah, for real. Absolutely. So you're in VA now.
Yes.
What is it like out there musically, in your areas? Are they supporting independent artists? Talk to us.
It's different out here. I mean, Richmond, I would say would be more in tune as
Yeah.
opposed to I'm in Northern Virginia.
Okay.
So I'm like right out of DC. I'm like 15, 20 minutes out of DC.
Okay.
So and if you're in DC, it's something different, but I'm kind of like away from the Richmond side and I'm kind of away from the DC side. So I'm kind of like in the middle.
Yeah.
So, you got to really be out there, plugging away when you got, a day job and you got other stuff going on. It's hard to get from that to doing work at home to get to DC to be out to like 3:00 in the morning.
Right.
That type of party for me just don't happen all the time. I can get out there here and there, but if I got a show or something like that, then it's something different. But if not, Craig got work to do.
Nah, for real.
Look, it ain't like the movie Friday. Like, Craig, you ain't got no job. You ain't got nothing to do. No, I got to do.
Craig. Now that was funny. That's the most classic movie ever. The first Friday.
Always.
You could watch that 10 billion times and you'll never get tired of it. But no, you're absolutely right. Every move you make has to make sense.
Yes.
It has to make sense. You
gotta play chess. You can't play checkers.
Nah, for real, because really, I know we all got the same 24 hours a day, but when you're busy like you are and myself, every move has to be strategic. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise stuff that's not so important can become on the forefront, and that's not what we want. We trying to keep what's important to us, whether it be personal or business, on the forefront of everything we got going on.
Yeah, that's what's up.
So how is that album doing, man? Like, this time it's personal. How's it doing? What type of feedback we getting? Talk to us.
It's crazy because I've been getting good feedback and a lot of people has really tuned into, what I've been doing this time around compared to Inspire was good too, but this one is personal. And, I think people also saw that, when I put the billboard up, like, oh, he's not playing. No, I'm not playing. Like, I think they really like, oh, he for real, like I'm for real. They're like, oh, that's how you doing it. That's how I'm doing it. It's personal. So I'm making sure, everything is right. And a lot of love, like shout out to everybody that, been streaming it, been checking it out. I had people send me some screenshots, all the love and support, man. I appreciate everybody. I wouldn't be here if it weren't for them because, a couple of times people would say to me, why you stop? Why you quit? I thought you were retired. You know what I mean? Like, my cousin, she's more like my sister, and she was like, I always knew you would come back.
No, for real. When you have a real deal passion and love for something, it's always going to be there.
Yeah, I mean, but, it's, for me, I still had love for it, but at one point, I felt like I didn't have anything to say.
Yeah.
And I wanted to focus on the film side. And then, like I said, life steps in now. I feel like I got a lot to say. And now, everything is just like flooding out. Everything just came rushing out. Somebody just slid a knife in my heart and everything just poured out. Here you go. Here's an album, 18 tracks. Holla at me,
Holla at your boy.
Yeah, get at me, So
that's dope.
So I really didn't expect it though, to be honest with you. Like I really didn't see this coming at all. And for it to be, an album that I still like hearing it myself, because it's still therapeutic for me. So I still like hearing it myself. So I'm like, it's like having a personal therapy session with yourself.
Of course. And that's what you got to do. Like, you got to have that mental and physical therapy, you know what I'm saying? No matter what it is. So how many times did you listen to the album before it released?
Woo! Man, let me tell you. A lot. Honestly, a lot. Because, I like to get it to where I want to hear it. And then, I'll take it. I'll throw it in the car. I'll be listening to it over and over, like, okay, that sounds good. Like I said, when you mixing yourself, you could critique it as much. You'd be like, oh, but if I do this,
like
this, let me go back. And then I'll be mixing it up like, yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
So like I got on this shout out to DJ Pain One. He did the scratches on my song called I'm Back. So I wanted that old school vibe, that like that DJ Premier, you know what I'm saying? So I had him mixing my vocals on the track on I'm Back, and DJ Pay One hooked it up. So shout out to that producer. He's ill dude.
Man, that is hard. That's really do, because he definitely legendary. So to get him involved in what you got going on, man, like that was a very creative move. I love the fact that was something different, dope, and that's what it's all about. As an artist, you want to figure out creative ways to make yourself stand out, and you definitely did that.
Well, I appreciate that. crafting the whole album basically to me was, you know, putting elements together and different people on different songs. So like there was one song that I have called Had All Together, and I probably had about 3 different female artists on it before I chose a 4th one. I was like, she nailed it. Yeah. And I also got her, she's the same female that's on This Time It's Personal. And when she came back with it, I was like, she killed it. Hey. Like I was like, that stuff could be on repeat all the time. Like
shout out to the ladies.
Yo, Elaine, she hooked it up. She blessed 2 tracks for me on the album. So, you know, and when I was creating it, I kind of wanted that overall sound. So I wanted that personal sound to it too. And I wanted some other artists to help bring it out. So, you know, I got a song called Jambalaya with my man Dame Plex. Shout out to RJ Payne, you know, with the feature. So that's what's up. You know, RJ Payne doing his thing. So he came through on that. And, you know, a lot of people love that song. You know, a lot of people love that song. But I got a lot of favorites on the album. But This Time It's Personal is one of my #1 songs on it all. You know, but I got a few.
When it comes to you doing the visuals, how involved are you in with coming up with the treatment or the idea, the concept for the video?
Normally, I'm the one doing the treatment. I got a song called 1+1 that I actually filmed in the Penthouse in New York, and I did a couple of shots out here in Virginia, and I did the whole treatment for it. So when I was in New York recently, I hit up my boy was with me, Anthony. Shout out to Tuck again. You know, that's my partner all the way. It's my partner all the way. So I hit him up, and we in the car riding to the city. And I'm like, yo, I want to shoot some more visuals. But I said, I don't want to do the treatment for this one. You know, like it's always my vision.
Right,
you know?
right.
So I said, I want to put a different twist on it. So he's listening, and that's when he was like, blessings. How about that one? You know what I mean? So I was like, all right, that's what's up. But you know, for me, I'm usually doing everything. I'm usually doing the treatment, all the planning, all the phone calls, you know, trying to get all the pieces together, which is hard because we were supposed to shoot a video with RJ Payne, Dave Plex with Jambalaya and shoot it in New York or probably in Philly. But I know recently he moved out to Florida, and I'm like trying to plan it. It's just trying to get everybody on the same schedule is hard, especially because like he's in the industry. I'm in the industry. You know, my man Dame, he's doing the film industry. So trying to get all 3 of us together was difficult. So
yeah.
So I don't know if that one's gonna happen, but definitely gonna have more visuals for the album. Most definitely. Best believe.
Tell us about the My Point of View.
So I did that one. I actually scouted the area. My man Dame Plex, he actually shot the video for me. We kind of directed it together. I wanted that sky view because I wanted to be like my point of view. So I wanted to kind of give that sky view. I didn't really want to, excuse me, I didn't want to give anything special for it. I just kind of, because it's short, it's basically an album intro.
Right.
So I basically kind of wanted that whole ambiance view, like my point of view, with just me looking out on the deck and stuff like that, and just me just rapping out there. Usually my stuff is a little bit more, you know, so many different scenes and complex, like a storyline, because I like a storyline, you know. But this one, I just wanted it to just be me just rapping, you know, and that's how I wanted that. But I just wanted that whole deck view area.
Can we give them a little bit of it? Do you mind if I share a little bit of that video?
Yeah, most definitely. You already know.
So I'm about to get it loaded up here. So you guys just give me a second because I want to make sure, you know, we can put this on the screen. So let's see here.
Live media work. Oh, what phone? Yeah. Oh, that's how it's gonna be.
Oh, that's Mr. Craig right there.
Yeah. Who that be?
Who that is? Oh, that's Mr. Craig.
Yeah. On my ice cream, yeah, you know.
Yeah. We be clubbing.
So I did all the editing too.
Okay, dope. Hands on.
All hands on. My point of view. Yeah.
My point of view is fucking different from some damn others. Feeling smothered on different levels. My heart is driven. Got the steel, I'm real with it, deal with it. So just fucking feelings, living underground. Now it's time to come about it. Building my legacy vibe is so different. I gotta keep my composure, my focus, so I notice. Yeah. Keep it posted on dealers, my eye is so in motion. I'm coasting like a private yacht, enjoying my moment. Taking shots like Chef Curry, you know I'm on it. Blowing spots, I know my spots, someone like that. The fuck is all the same. I'm sure y'all know the name MRC. You better stay in your lane, yeah. Hey now, I'm back. Show you where I'm really at. Personal renewal, yeah. Had to take a fall. Another lesson learned. Life is on another turn. Just I let it burn. Usher style is the urn.
Big vibes.
My point of view. Appreciate that, Tampa.
Big 100 vibes. You know what I'm saying? Most definitely. We're going to pause it right there because what I'm a big advocate of is they got to go to your YouTube channel and run them streams up on any of the videos you got out. So while we're right there, tell them what your YouTube channel is.
Actually, it's up there. It's YouTube at Mr. Craig. So that's what they did. I got my own URL now. So YouTube at Mr. Craig.
I love that. YouTube
Check out the
did
videos. Check out
Check
the
them
videos.
out.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of up there. So go check it out, everybody. I appreciate y'all for real.
Most definitely. Man, we winding up 2022. I know you're gonna hit them in the head strong 2023. What can we expect from Mr. Craig, you know, coming into the new year?
Hopefully more shows coming up. So
yeah.
I gotta try and find some agents to try and get that going.
Yes.
But I kind of need somebody to help me run that down. So any agents out there, hit your boy up.
That's your boy.
Up. You know what I'm saying? Craig at strictlyentertainment.com. Hit me up. Yeah. I got some ideas. One, I'm looking for probably another album. Probably April is my but we'll see. Probably April. I already got a title for it. Already got 10 tracks for it already.
Little springtime vibe.
A little springtime something, you know what I mean?
A little something for the lady, you know what I'm saying?
I always got something for everybody. I always try to do something for everybody and stuff that people can relate to, whether it be my street dudes, my ladies, the relationship type vibes. You know, I try to hit everything so it's more of a well-rounded album, you know, and that's usually my point of view on it. How about that?
Nah, for real. Big facts. And I like that because, you know, it's a big world out there. You don't want to just cater to one market. You want to cater to everybody.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly.
Where do you see yourself going? If we could fast forward, you know, the next maybe 2 to 3 years, where are we going to find you at?
Probably the big screen, maybe. I mean, I have my hand on so much stuff. Music is just one level for me. You know, I love music, but I also love radio. You know what I'm saying? I like, you know, I people tell me like I'm natural when it comes to being on air, like you. You know, you're a natural.
You got a big personality, and that's important.
You know, yeah, actually, I was at WPGC when I went to radio broadcasting school, and basically I was able to interview Angie Corley.
Wow. You know? Okay.
So that was an experience for me, and that was like my first, you know, real doing an interview. I was interviewing her. So, you know, I took some lessons out of it, and I was like, when I go back and listen, I was like, okay, I could have did that better, but you know, I enjoyed it, you know, and being around music for me is always a plus. You know, you're gonna get that energy, you're gonna get that vibe. You know, it's like a switch. Like I could be all relaxed, chilled out, and everything. Next year, you know, you throw the music on, boop, switches on. All right, let's go.
No, for real.
On and popping. You know, that's just me. You know, so I could be so relaxed, and then once you hit that music switch. But 3 years from now, I mean, my biggest thing is I want to finish writing my script. You know, I want to help, you know, my other partners work on their projects as well. So I want to get my film game up, you know, and that's one of my other focuses as well. As long, you know, I still put out music.
Yeah. So the company you have, is it like a film production company?
Yeah. So my Inspired Media Works is going to be catering more towards the filming and editing side.
Okay.
As opposed to at first Strictly Entertainment was like one big umbrella where, you know, it's got my clothing, it's got music, and you know, I got the video editing under that. So
understood.
Also shot, you know, real estate videos, and I'm certified to fly drones in Virginia. I got my drone license. Yeah, drone license. So let's go. You know, but I was like, but I wanted to separate it because, you know, Inspired Media Works, like when you saw the video come on, I wanted that to cater to film. When people see it, I want them to see film, and I don't want them to be like, oh, it's just, you know, another indie record label, whatever that does multiple stuff. Nah, I want feeling to have its own identity, and that's why I came up with it.
I absolutely agree with that. If you do multiple things, you can tie them together, but like you said, you want them to have their own identity as well.
Yep.
Love it, man. You just got a lot going on.
I do. I stay busy. I'm always doing something. It's like I was talking to one of my friends. They go, well, I can't keep up with your projects. Like, yeah, I know.
How hard is work-life balance for you?
It can be tough, because I got a day job,
Yeah.
and I still continue to write and stuff like that. I got a dog.
Oh, what kind of pup you got?
He's a Alaskan Malamute mixed with a lab.
Oh,
119 pounds. So yeah, he's a
oh,
handful.
so you
sometimes.
can't just pick him up and show us.
Nah, that ain't happening. Trust me.
He might pick you up.
I'm just glad he's not
119
barking during the interview.
All right, so let me just ask you this real quick, because I'm such an animal lover. Like, I tell people I was an animal in my previous life. They think I'm weird when I tell them that. But anyways, you know what I'm saying? I do got cat claws, you know what I'm saying?
There it is. Let me find out you're going for the role of Catwoman next.
I am. That's up next. Y'all heard it here first. You know what I'm saying? Don't
You
get
heard
into
it here. Tampa's going for Catwoman next. We're going to put it out there in the universe, all right?
big facts. I love it. We throwing it out there to the universe.
We're going to throw it out there.
How much is your food bill a month for your pup?
So he bougie. So I buy him Rachel Ray. I usually I buy him Rachel Ray. So I usually spend about $40 a month on them and buy a 40-pound bag.
Oh, that's not bad.
No, it's not bad.
That's not bad at all.
2 cups in the morning, 2 cups in the evening, and he's still begging. People be around there be like, yo, do you feed him? I'm like, look, he's always hungry. Like, ain't no way he's gonna eat all this food, but I'm not giving it to him.
No,
then he'll be like 150 pounds, and the vet be like, what are you trying to kill his dog?
right, he obese at this point. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. So when he was getting up to 130, they were like, he gotta lose weight. I was like, okay.
And it's hard to say no because they be giving you the puppy dog eyes, you know what I'm saying? And you want to keep giving it to them, but no, that's dope, man. They say a dog is a man's best friend. Is that true?
That is so true. Right now he's my ride or die. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's
Super loyal.
Super loyal. So he rocks out with me every day.
Man, that love right there. I think everybody needs to have a pet.
I mean, but that's the hardest part for me though, because when I had to go do the documentary, I had to find a dog sitter at the last minute, and because I got called up to New York at the last minute, so I had to run up there, find a dog sitter at the last minute. So when I wanted to go do the album drop in New York with the Billboard, I had to find a dog sitter. So it's not easy it's not one of those dogs you can just like, okay, come on with me. No, not happening. Can't just put him in the back seat all the time.
Nah, for real. Not at 119 pounds. He's a big boy.
Yeah, so I can't just pick him up and take him anywhere. So that's the struggle with me being able to like get up and go when opportunities arise at this point right now.
Like having a kid.
Yeah, and trying to find good dog sitters hard too.
Nah, for real. It is. Right. My son moved to Georgia about back in July, and he's got 3 dogs. And he said that was one of his biggest concerns was finding a good kennel. Like he's like, everything else is, I want to make sure I got a good place to put them when I got to travel and stuff, because it's like finding a babysitter for the kids, most definitely.
Yeah, and running around with a dog in your backseat that sheds a lot and hair's flying all over the place. Yeah, that's not the move.
Right, especially when you got your fresh fit on, you know what I'm saying? You don't want to be covered.
You take a lip roller with you, like, shh. People like, what are you doing in here? Like, put on the already know. I got all this dog hair all over me.
Right. Absolutely. We're going to check out one of your songs. Before we do that, before we get up out of here, 3 things we got to do. 1, tell everybody where they can follow you on all your social platforms.
Social media, IG. That's where usually I hang out the most. Of course, you know that. But, Mr. Craig TA on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, get at me. You got my website, MrCraigTA.com. You got strictlyentertainment.com. You can look for me there, hit me up. If you send an email, I'll hit you back, whatever. I'm very engaged, very humble. Just get at me. We can chop it up.
And make sure y'all check out his most recent feature, Artist Spotlight of the Week, Hip Hop Since 1987. I appreciate you being a part of that.
Yes.
Appreciate that. We just kicked that off, and you was a part of it from day one. So I'm humbly grateful. Thank you for being a part of that.
I appreciate the opportunity. You know, you're doing your thing. I appreciate you as well.
Man, most definitely. Second thing we got to do, I know there's a lot of people that may be tuned in or may catch this later on that you want to show some love to. Who you want to shout out to?
Oh man, you know, I won't be able to catch everybody, but for real, not. But shout out to my boy homie, Tuck, Dane Plex, Daniel, James, Monica, JP, Kenya, my aunt, my cousin D, which is also my sister, you know, man, Big Snow. There's just so many people, you know, to name, but you know, a lot of people played like a crazy role in this journey, you know, and I know I missed a lot of people, trust me, because a lot of people, they got my back 100%. My boy Hot Boogie, you know, he's doing his thing. You know, I just got mad love for everybody. You love me, I love you back. You know, it's just all love.
Yeah, I know it's hard to remember everybody.
Oh yeah, when you're trying to go through names, I'm like, I have a list. Like, so I do keep a small circle to a certain extent. But then there's certain people during my journey that, you know, really, you know, paved that way for me. So, you know, and trying to get them all in one bubble was like, oh, names. Now you're trying to come up with names like, but there's this person. Oh, there's this person. Yeah, but there's a lot though, you know.
If he missed your name, charge it to the game, not to his heart. It's not personal. It's
That's
just
right.
hard to remember.
It's hard to remember, but yeah, I love y'all. Y'all already know what it is. Y'all know how I am. You know me. You know what's good.
Facts, most definitely. Last question before we get up out of here and check out this other record. We are live, right? Industry's Most Wanted. Industry's Most Wanted. Get in. But I need Mr. Craig, you know what I'm saying, on the check-in. Go ahead and let the whole world know what makes you the industry's most wanted.
You know, industry's most wanted. I try to inspire everybody from day one. I'm gonna give you full-fledged me, all around, full circle, no cuts, no nothing, no fakeness, just me. Keep it real. What?
Straight like that.
Straight like that.
Period. So we have a record. It's self-entitled off of the project, right? This time is personal.
Yep. This time is personal.
Let's talk about the record. Who produced it?
DJ Payne 1.
Okay.
DJ Payne 1. And I got Elaine on that. And, you know, it came about when I had the title for the album last year. Like I said, like the project's pretty much been done.
Yeah.
And we're just waiting for the right track, you know, and I usually go by the track to dictate what I want to put in the song.
Yeah.
And when I hear a track, I'm like, And then like, I may have an idea already, but if not, the track is already talking to me. So when the track talked to me, I was like, all right, this is it. This time it's personal. And from there, it's more relationship and life driven. I kind of put everything in there mixed together, you know, on different aspects and different topics in there.
Yeah.
So the song is personal in itself.
Most definitely. Well, listen, it was a pleasure to have you here. We're going to go ahead and check out this record. Is there anything else you want to let everyone know about before we get into the record?
For one, I appreciate you for having me on here.
Of course. It was a pleasure. I had a good time.
You're doing your thing. So also, excuse me, check out Tampa Mystic. She's always doing the thing. You know, she's on the grind. I'm on the grind. We're doing our thing. Shout out to everybody that gives me love. Listen to my music, stream my music. All the articles that's been written up about me so far has, you know, like 2 of them has been really crazy. You know, actually 3 of them has been really crazy. One of them, I was like, you know, when someone actually listens to your music, you can tell when they write about it.
Right.
And when I was reading it, I was like, whoa, they was hitting. I was like, I felt like they were in the room with me. Like, that's what's up. So like I said, this journey has been crazy. The album's been crazy. All the love I've been getting from it, you know, everyone's gonna knock on like all 18 tracks, you know, ain't no doubt about it. But guess what? I'm giving you full-fledged me. I'm giving you good music, real music, and I keep it real, and I always will keep it real. So shout out to everybody. Thank y'all. Love y'all. Peace.
Yeah, most definitely. And anybody that tapped in, we appreciate you guys taking time out of your day. Yeah. If you missed any part of this, it will stay forever on my YouTube channel, Industry's Most Wanted. Go run it up. You know what I'm saying? Run those series up. While you're there, you can hit that subscribe button. Shameless little plug, but hit that subscribe button.
Hit it on hers, hit it on mine.
Most definitely. Well, listen, we about to get into this record. This time is personal. Go ahead and give us that official introduction.
All right. This time is personal by yours truly, Mr. Craig. Let's go. Tampa Mystic, Industry's Most Wanted podcast. Boom, right at you.
Boom, you did. We about to get into it. Y'all stay tuned.
Industry's Most Wanted.
This time is personal. Y'all better check it out. We got Mr. Craig on the check-in. Let's go.
It's been a hell of a ride, and he survived. Feeling all his pain in his heart, I see it in his eyes. Gotta wins the scars, gotta live in from the bottom. Yeah, that shit was hard, life is hard, how it got him. No attention, just stressing on how to be a kid. Abandoned on every level, I think I feel this kid. Tragedy and more fists are going through the floor. They don't see that pain, they just let him fall. I could have helped him, but I was a kid myself. Now I'm looking back, knowing how he truly felt. All along, things are missing, this is hood living. He never asked to be born, it's God's giving. I wish he had a remission, I was his parents listen. And they say it's never listen. Thinking they giving is only the beginning, really how we start to sin it. Good heart and all, I wish he had a different living chance.
Fighting through the sky, searching to find some peace of mind. 'Cause this time it's personal. This time it's personal. Yeah, oh, yeah, feeling the pain.
What a beautiful collaboration. I'm loving it.
Thank you, thank you.
This time it's personal. Yeah.
Cross the paths again, different stages in his life. Fighting battle scars, shit he's having late at night. He said he's tired of the losses, it's a part of life. He's been fighting since a kid, something just ain't right. Lost family and friends, yeah, premature wife. He didn't see the light, buried from the pain, alright? He had friends, treated him more like family, yeah. Such a good dude, he never understood it, yeah. Depression and all, seeing how we falls apart. Therapy and all, he's trying to get up out the dark. He needs an AED, shit, this is he needs a spot for real, sure he made mistakes of life. Do they really care? Nah, do you see them here? They just write them off, do they even really care? Life is short, no grudges, all they be in hell here. He always kept it real, even to the end, yeah.
Fighting through the sky, searching to find some peace of mind. This time it's personal. This time it's personal. Yeah, oh, yeah, feeling the pain and the pain. A better way. This time it's personal.
It's been a crazy journey, knowing how he speak for real. He always been a fighter, thinking it's his last round. I could've reached him like I used to, can't now. The damage is done, no place for him to turn now. We all fought to a point, and yeah, I get it now. Never thought it would be me talking to myself. I guess it's all I got, mentally abused high. That's what happens when you being raised with wolves high. I had a lot of people, yeah, they really had my back. Some I still around, other they just left me. I got a good heart, but yeah, they took it ugly. My story's so told, I'm trying to right the wrongs. Blood and tears and all, writing years on the wall. I said it's personal for real, and it's my last call. Still blowing with myself, I'm on my last draw. I never said I was perfect, and this goes out to y'all.
Fighting through, yeah, and through. Find some peace of mind, but this time it's personal. This time it's personal. Yeah, feeling the pain and the pain. A better way. This time it's personal. This time it's personal.
It's a whole vibe, y'all.
Right.
You guys go get that album. It's streaming everywhere. This time is personal. Mr. Craig on the check-in. Make sure you follow his social platform. Make sure you go subscribe to that YouTube channel. Run them views up. One of the hardest things to do in the business, like what he and I do, is to get people to support you, man. It don't take nothing but a few seconds of your time, couple minutes of your time. Go check it out, man. I appreciate you being here today.
Appreciate it. Album out everywhere right now.
Most definitely. Everybody that tapped in, we appreciate you guys. Y'all enjoy your weekend. But we're back. Holla at your girl, holla at your boy. We're back.
Later.